You smell it before you see it. Smoke, bitter and oily. Up, fire. Someone shouts. You turn toward Pudding Lane. It is Sunday, 2nd September 1666. Orange light pushes from the lower windows of Thomas Farriner's bakery, where he bakes bread for the King's Navy. Bring water. A man cries. Buckets. You step closer. Heat presses your face. Sparks snap and fly upward, landing on the timber walls that lean over the lane, built so close their beams nearly touch. A woman grabs your sleeve. Not again, she says. The fire court was here last winter. Behind you, a church bell begins striking at St. Magnus the Martyr. Slow. Hard. Wake your household. Another voice shouts. Move. You hear shutters opening. Feet on wood stairs. Someone coughing. Farriner himself appears at the door. It was the oven, he says. God help us. The east wind rises. Embers cross the narrow street. No one speaks now. Fetch hooks. A man orders. Before it spreads, they will call the fire court again. Someone whispers. If anything remains by morning, you do nothing yet here. You walk west as the sky pales, leaving Pudding Lane behind. London surrounds you, close and heavy. Nearly 350,000 souls sleep and wake inside these walls, first laid by Romans long ago. Mind your shoulder, a porter says, pushing past with a bale of tobacco. Virginia leaf. Came upriver last night. You press against a building. Its upper floor leans over you, built outward beyond the narrow ground below. Cheaper to build high, the porter adds. Taxman counts the ground, not the sky. Across the lane, a woman opens her shutter and speaks to her neighbor without raising her voice. Their windows almost meet. You hear bells? She asks. Aye, the neighbor replies. London always rings for something. You move toward the river. A merchant stands beside stacked sugar loaves, stamped from Barbados. English ships only, he mutters, counting coins. Since the Navigation Act of 51. Crown wants its share. A boy carries water in a wooden bucket. It leaks along the seams. New river water, he says. Costs a farthing more this year, still runs slow, his master answers. Wood pipes rot faster than they mend. You follow the old Roman wall. Stone holds firm, but everything within it presses tight. Too many people, a guard says quietly. And more come each season. You hear carts, voices and distant bells, and breathing. You enter Cheapside as the day fully wakes. Voices rise before the sun clears the roofs. 3 farthings for bread. An apprentice calls. Fair weight, fair price. You stop at the stall. The boy watches you carefully. Master says no less, he tells you. Company rule. A man beside him wears the badge of the Worshipful Company of Bakers. He studies each loaf. Weight is law, he says. Guild keeps order. No cheating, you move on. Timber carts choke the street. Long beams from the Baltic scrapestone as men drag them forward. At the river stairs, a dock worker wipes his hands. Baltic wood burns slow, he says. Good for building. He looks at your coat. You work? You shake your head. I earn 1 shilling and 6 pence a day, he says. Gone by week's end, he points to black stones stacked nearby. Coal from Newcastle. Hostmen control it all. Price climbs each season. Still you buy it? You ask. He shrugs. Coal kills faster than cost. You leave the docks and enter a narrow house. Candlelight burns low beside open barrels. A woman twists hemp rope near a lamp flame. Careful, you say. She glances up. Parish man came last month. Said all was proper. No brigade comes, her husband adds. Only neighbors and buckets. You notice pitch sealed in tubs. Oil rests in clay jars. Fire lives close to everything here. Outside, a parish beadle passes. Keep ladders ready, he calls. Hooks by the door. The woman nods. Always ready, she says quietly. You step back into the street, where timber, coal, and flame wait together patiently nearby. You push back toward Pudding Lane. Heat strikes harder now. Flames climb higher than the roofs. Water. A man shouts. Pass it forward, you grab a leather bucket and hand it along. The line breaks as men pull away from the heat. It spreads too fast, someone says behind you. You hear hooves. Riders force through the crowd. The Lord Mayor comes, a voice calls. Sir Thomas Bloodworth arrives, pale beneath his hat. He looks up at the burning houses. Pull them down. A man urges him. Make a break. Bloodworth hesitates. These are private dwellings. They must fall. Another insists. Bloodworth shakes his head. Compensation must be paid. The rolls must record it. Flames jump across the lane. Sir, the man presses, delay will lose the street. Bloodworth turns away. A woman could piss it out, he mutters. You hear disbelief in the silence around you. He leaves? Someone whispers. Bloodworth rides off. The fire answers at once. Flames leap across Fish Street Hill. The wind. A sailor shouts. East wind drives it. Smoke pushes westward. You follow the crowd. A man beside you clutches a small book. Peppies, he says. I keep record. This wind will carry ruin. Ahead, warehouses stand full, oil inside. A porter yells. Brandy too. Another cries out. Coal stores. The doors grow hot before flame touches them. Break them open. Someone orders. No time. Comes the reply. Glass cracks. Smoke pours through gaps. You step back as heat deepens. Fire moves faster than command. Authority stands behind it now, watching, without power. You reach the Thames. Smoke hangs above the water. Clerks rush between warehouses carrying books and loose papers. Not the crates, one shouts. The ledgers. You stop beside him. He grips a bound volume against his chest. These pages hold more than coin, he says. They hold promise. A porter runs past carrying silk. Leave that, the clerk yells. Save the accounts. Another man unlocks a chest. Insurance will cover goods, he says. If the papers survive. You watch him hand a document to his assistant. Signed last winter, he adds. Private assurance. Loss paid if fire takes the store. The assistant nods and runs. You follow the clerk toward Cornhill. Smoke thickens near the Royal Exchange, standing since 1571. Merchants crowd its arches. Inside, one calls to you. Help carry books. You enter. Men pull ledgers from shelves. Spice accounts, one says. East India cargo. He hands you a volume. Charter protects the trade, he says, but not the paper. Another merchant stacks tobacco records. Credit runs this city, he tells you. Coin settles little. You hear shouting outside. The fire comes west. A young clerk freezes. My master's fortune lives here, he whispers. You carry ledgers toward the door. A man stops you. Careful with that one. What is it? You ask. Debt owed by 3 ships, he says. Without it, nothing can be claimed. Behind him, windows darken with smoke. Move faster, someone urges. You step into the street, holding the weight of wealth. You stand before St. Paul's Cathedral on Tuesday, 4 September 1666. Smoke coils around its great stone walls. Men run past you carrying bundles of books. From the crypt, one cries, "Save what you can." You step closer. Heat breathes from the doors. A printer stumbles beside you, arms black with soot. Our stock was below, he says. Stationer's company licensed every page. He coughs and looks back. All gone now. You hear a deep groan above. The lead roof begins to soften. Look, someone whispers. Liquid metal slips between stones, falling in bright streams to the ground. God preserve us, the printer says. You step back as drops strike the street and spread. Another man grabs your sleeve. 13,000 houses burn, he says. Nothing stops it. Behind you, carts move west. Families walk beside them. Where do you go? You ask a woman carrying a child. Anywhere safe, she says. 80,000 souls flee already. You hear hooves again. Soldiers push forward. Make way for the king's order. One shouts. A captain faces the crowd. Gunpowder will be used, he says. Buildings must fall. A man beside you stares. They will destroy homes? To save the rest, the captain answers. You follow them to a row of houses. Clear back, a soldier tells you. He sets a charge at the base of a wall. You cover your ears. The blast cracks the air. Stone falls outward. Smoke rushes through the gap. Another, the captain orders. Behind you, St. Paul's groans again. A stationer kneels in the street. My print runs, he says quietly. Years of work. You smell burned paper. Royal license meant protection, he whispers. Not from this. You look east. Fire fills every opening. A soldier speaks beside you. The king himself commands it now. You watch men prepare another charge. The city breaks piece by piece around you. Ash falls on your coat. Bells do not ring now. You hear only fire and footsteps moving without end through smoke and ruin and silence. You walk into Moorfields. The ground is crowded with families and carts. Smoke drifts over blankets laid on bare earth. A man sits beside a broken chest. My shop stood on Bread Street, he says. Nothing remains. His son holds a rolled paper, black at the edges. My apprenticeship, the boy whispers. Guild seal was here. He shows you the ash-stained ribbon. No contract, the father says quietly. No trade will take him. Nearby, a woman grips a key, its iron dark and bent. This opened my door, she says. Everything is gone. You hear scratching behind you. A clerk sits at a small table. Name? He asks another man. Thomas Hale, comes the reply. Street? Fish Street Hill. All lost. The clerk writes in a ledger. For tax record, he says. Loss must be counted. You step closer. You record every claim? You ask. As ordered, he answers. Property tax depends on it. A woman interrupts him. My deed's burned, she says. How do I prove what was mine? The clerk pauses. You speak it, he says. We write it. Around you, people hold fragments, charred papers, broken tools. My account books, a merchant murmurs. All debts vanished. A man looks toward the city walls. We wait here now, he says, outside our own streets. You stand among them, where names, work, and futures wait to be written again. You stand near Temple Bar. Smoke hangs thin now. The fire stopped here on Thursday, 6 September 1666. A soldier beside you rests his hands on his knees. It ends, he says quietly. You look beyond him. The city lies open and blackened. Surveyors walk across the ground, carrying rods and chains. Measure the width, one tells another. New streets must be broader. You step closer. By whose order? You ask. Parliament, he answers. The Rebuilding Act will demand brick and stone. He presses his rod into the soil. No more timber walls, he says. Nearby a man studies a rough drawing. Christopher Wren. Someone whispers beside you. You watch him trace lines across the paper. A cathedral will rise again, he says softly. Stronger than before. You glance toward the ruins of St. Paul's. Wren folds his paper. The old ways failed, he says. The new must endure. Behind you, workers clear fallen beams. Wider streets, one says. Fire cannot jump what it cannot reach. Another nods. The city will breathe differently. You walk forward across stone and ash. A merchant stands beside you. My shop is gone, he says, but trade will return. You look around once more. Nothing stands as it did. You remain here, where London begins again, slowly.